Okay, this is day one of the accountability, the summer of accountability. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to just document my progress through this huge project, of getting my entire basement cleaned up. So if you remember from the from the original video where I showed where everything looked, it was horrible. This table where I was going to put all the presses and stuff, which that's still going to happen, it was a mess. So what I've done is I have so many containers, guys. So I'm like a little bit of a container freak. So I took all these containers and I just, separated it into like stuff. So I have vinyl rolls, I have glue sticks, I have needle threaders, needles, bobbins, point turners, seam creasers, bobbin savers, just pretty much all kinds of stuff. This is in the wrong place. And so I just tried to put everything together in into like things. That is way too big. It's all just needles, like machine needles and a few hand needles. So this is of course not where it's going to stay, but this will give me like a visual of what I actually have and where I need to store it and how I need to store it. So at least that's separated. And once those get put away where they're going to go, they're like final resting home, this whole platform will be cleared off, and that won't take long. Also, I was a teacher, and so I brought home a bunch of my stuff because I will be teaching. I will be working in a school next year, but not teaching. So a lot of my teaching stuff from my classroom came home. Some of that was these little drawers. So I thought I just put one in there to see how it would fit. So I thought, okay, once I start separating all the stuff, I have tons of these drawer thingies. And so I can fit these drawer things inside of these little cubbies instead of putting, like those bins right there and just shoving a bunch of stuff in there. That's like the bin of doom. It's so big, it doesn't really separate. Like you can't put just a little bit in there. You have to put a bunch of different stuff in there. So if I can use these, then I can label those drawers and I can separate all these little things. Now, these items will not be here because this is going to be the pressing table. They will end up being over here on the, if you can see, you can barely see under there. There's a calyx under there on wheels. On top of that is a tabletop. So that is a cutting table, or will be. And so that's where all those little notions and things are going to end up going. And I think what I'm going to do is, as I'm going, I'm changing my plan a little bit, but I'm going to take this, thank God this thing's on wheels, but take this and just smush it over against the wall. The reason why I didn't want to do that at first was so that I could get to all these drawers over here, these cubbies. So I wanted to have space all the way around the table, but some things got to give, and I'm sacrificing space in the middle of the room. And so what I'll end up doing is taking those rolls, I'll show you those in a minute, that go across two, they go like across two holes, and those will end up being over here anyway. So I'll be able to access those 4 holes back there just by sliding everything in here. So really all I'm losing out if I smush that together is 4 cubbies. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I hope I don't make anybody seasick. So if you can see right here, these are pool noodles, and they hold my fabric that I don't want to fold and crease. So if you can see in there, see how they go all the way across to the other side? And so those will end up being shoved into the other ones that are up against the wall. The only thing I worry about is if they might stick out too far. No, I don't think they will, because see on this side there, like if this was the wall and it was flush, they would stick out a little bit on the other side, but not too bad. So I've got some rolls in there. I've got a couple of long rulers in there. And so that's what will end up happening with that. So that's update for day number 1. That's what I've done. I'm still not done with day number 1, but this is a huge accomplishment. And then I'll explain some other things that I've done and some ideas of things that I'm going to change. As I go, I change the plan. All right, so the embroidery machine. As for now, I'm keeping it. I might sell it. I don't know. I haven't decided. So until then, I'm going to treat it like a baby. It needs to be cleaned because it hasn't been used in 2 years since it's been here. We've been here for almost 2 years, so it hasn't been used since then. Anyway, so, and all of these cubbies are like accessories and notions and things that go along with embroidery. So those cubbies really need to be right next to the embroidery machines. So what I've done, I've measured this out. So I'm going to take this embroidery machine, I'm going to move it right here. I'm going to put it right here in the center. And then on each side, I have enough room to put some cubbies. And so what I'm going to do is pan back over. See those pink cubbies over there? Those pink cubbies, they look nice and pink, you know, sweet. So those are the sizes that are going to go on either side of the embroidery machine. So embroidery machine will go in the middle. One pink cubby over here, one pink cubby over here, and all of those embroidery supplies will just be in those cubbies. I may even switch the drawers, I don't know, but that's what that's going to be. And then that'll give me just enough room over here to put the vinyl cutter. So that's this right here. Okay, so this is the vinyl cutter. So that is just why, you know, it'll be just the right size to go along, just on the other side of the wall, right over here. So the vinyl cutter will go right there. It'll be low enough to where I think it'll be low enough to where I can still reach the light switch. So it'll be vinyl cutter, cubby, embroidery machine, cubby. So I will have to move all this fabric to the unfinished basement part. For now, I don't even think I want to move all this crap because it's already pretty much organized and looking nice. And it's not taking up a whole lot of space because it's flush up against the wall. And I don't really need these spaces for cubbies just yet. So since I'm planning on getting rid of almost all of this fabric, I just don't really see the need to like move it off the shelves, move the shelves to another place, put them all back on the shelves, just turn around, take them off the shelves and sell it. So for right now, I'm just gonna leave it because that's just a lot of work. That's like a 2-day project just to end up selling it anyway. So I'm just gonna leave that. Last thoughts. I've only done a little bit out here today and it doesn't look any different, but I went ahead and just took out all the cubbies, like all the drawer, what do you call these? Containers? Dronas, boxes, we'll call them boxes. I took all the boxes that actually had fabric in them. Some of them are cuts of fabric, some of them are like a couple yards folded up, things that I was actually going to use to sew with and not sell. And so I took out the stuff like this. There's scissors, FOE, fold over elastic. There's blankets, there's whatever that says, pins and pin cushions. Okay. So I took all the stuff that wasn't fabric and I replaced it with anything that was fabric just to see how much I had. And I ended up with, as you can see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40 minus 1. There's an empty one right there. 40 boxes, and all this is now fabric. Try not to move around too much. So I don't know exactly what to do about that, because since I'm not going to move all that fabric on the bolts over here, I am going to move that fabric on that back wall where the embroidery machine is going to go. So I think what I'll do is, these are almost all empty because I've moved a bunch of stuff out. So I think I will put the fabric that's on the bolts along this wall. So I'll move those shelves here. I will take these cubbies out, and there's enough space on that wall next to where the embroidery machine is now, where all those supplies are, that I can put the other cubbies, the other boxes in those cubbies. And that will just be like sewing stuff. And there's still some more fabric. Like, see, there's fleece fabric, there's knit fabric. This whole thing is patterns. All of it is patterns. I mean, guys, I don't even want to, you want to take a peek in there? Like, let's see. I mean, wow. Look at that. Patterns, 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 patterns. Like every drawer looks like that. Some of it's commercial patterns, some of it's cottage patterns. Oh my gosh. Commercial patterns. What do we got in here? More commercial patterns. Like I would go when they had a $1 sale, and I would just, you know, limit 10 or whatever, and I'd go get 10 patterns at a time. These are all diaper patterns. And like, oh my gosh, I don't want to show you everything, but as you can see, these are patterns. they probably will just stay there for now, because it's not like I'm going to use them all. I don't even know if they're worth anything to sell. I could sell them in like, you know, bunches, you know, like 10 patterns for $10, you know, plus shipping or whatever, and put it in a flat rate envelope or something. But anyway, so that's the plan. The plan has changed just a little, because yesterday I said that I was going to put all the fabric in this room, but that's just a waste, because all I'll do is move all this crap out into the sewing room and then move all the fabric in here, and then it will still be the same. Like, this is already set up and moved, and it's heavy as hell. And so for right now, that's what's going to happen. So anyway, that's the new change in plans. So for the rest of today, my plan is, I have a few more hours to work. I'm not trying to work 8 hours a day, because I will get burned out. So for the rest of today, my plan is to move these. Wait a minute. I don't have a place to move them yet. I'll have to move those other cubbies out. So, gosh, this is one of those things where you got to move one out to move the other in. It's like a circle. It's like a circuit, you know. You only have one hole, so you have to move A to B and B to C and C to D, and then there's a hole, and then you can move everything around again. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I can move these out so that I can move the embroidery machine in, but I don't have anywhere to move these two yet. So I'm going to brainstorm on that and figure out how to start this cycle. Anyway, so that's day number 1. Thank you for coming along with me on the summer of organization. I don't know, I'm going to call it something cute and catchy. And it'll just be like a series. And then I got to do something with all this stuff. So I don't want to think about that right now. One thing at a time. All right, check in tomorrow and see what we've done. All right, so this area right here, they're all empty. They've been moved either just to some other area, or, you know, just somewhere else until I figure out what to do with them. But anyway, so all I gotta do is take those little things off the top, and I will move these guys just somewhere out of the way for now, because I don't know exactly where they're gonna end up. I know they will end up in the finished area somewhere over there, but I don't know exactly sure how I'm gonna use them or where. So until then, I will probably just stack them up. I don't want to stack them in front of the door, just in case we need to come in and out. So what I might do is just stack them up. I'm not going to be accessing this anytime soon, so I might just stack them all up in front of these for now, because without any cubbies in them, any boxes in them, they don't weigh all that much. I can just take a hand truck and just easily just slide them around. So this is funny. I have no idea how this happened, but look at this. Look at the, you know, they should be flush with each other, right? I don't know what happened, but they broke. Like, I don't know. They broke and came out. Like, this one is supposed to be inside of there. This one broke off. You know, I've had them for so long. They don't last forever. Every time they get moved, they shear a little bit and they get a little bit looser. So I really don't like moving them a whole lot. But you know what? Sometimes it just is what it is. Anyway, so those are going to move out. As soon as that happens, I'm going to get that wall of fabric where the embroidery machine is going to go, and I'm going to put that, because I measured it, it's exactly the same, within a few inches, is the same distance as what all this white space right here. So all those bolts of fabric and stuff will be moved in here. And after I get done with that, that's going to be all I do for the day. I'll get back on the computer and do some editing and do some computer stuff, but as far as moving and organizing, that's day 1. It's going to be done, because I cannot burn myself out. Totally off topic, but I am starting the carnivore diet this summer, and so I stopped my work to take a break and eat my lunch. I'm only eating 2 meals a day, and this is my ribeye that is so delicious and perfectly cooked. I mean, look at that, guys. It is, whew, man, it looks good. This was made with the Ninja Foodie. I'll put a link down below. I got it from Amazon. It actually grills and air fries and does a bunch of other stuff, but I just have used it for air fry and grill. This grilled this steak from the fridge to this in about 8 minutes. And it is perfectly grilled and crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. Oh, it is like magic. If you want me to make a video to show you how exactly I made this steak, to taste so delicious, and what I use on the outside and all that stuff. Let me know. I know it's not sewing related, but dang guys, that is delicious. All right, this is the last little bit of day one. It's gonna look, some of it's gonna look worse before it looks better. And I get that, but you know, we've got to move something out to move something in, and move something else out to move something else in. So anyway, so I moved these 3. Okay, I lied. My husband, he's so sweet. He moved these 3 away from the other side of the wall where my back is right now. And we just moved them over here in front of the, you know, this is all pieces of fabric and stuff. So we just moved them over here for now, because we don't have to get to that fabric anytime soon. That's going to stay there. We got packing peanuts over there for when we start shipping out sewing machines. There's a few little extra things, boxes that are going to go where they're supposed to go at some point. We had to move those mattresses over there just for now. Some of the other boxes had to go over there for now. We moved all of the shelves on that one wall. We had to take all the fabric off of each shelf, move the shelves back on, and reload the fabric back on. So all this is quilting cottons, cotton wovens. And so these I'm probably going to be putting in goodie boxes and selling them like mystery boxes, just so I can get rid of them cheap and fast and not have to worry about loading and taking pictures and all that kind of stuff, because I just want to move it all out of here. And this is the other pieces. This is just fabric, laser printer, and then this is just miscellaneous. So that'll probably end up moving again. But this is where this is going to be. So we got that done. And then the last thing that we did today, so I'm turning this light off because we are done in the unfinished area. Okay, so if you'll remember, this area was my 15 needle Avance sewing embroidery machine. It was right here, and we have now moved it. And then I had those pink, light pink calyx. We have moved that, and I had my giant vinyl cutter right here, so we have moved that. So now this looks scary because we've moved it, and then we had to move some other stuff in front of it already. But so the vinyl cutter is right here, along with that's custom printed vinyl right there, so that'll be a good place to just keep that probably. Eventually, like I said, I separated all of this, so that'll get cleaned off probably tomorrow or the next time I come in here. And then this was my master plan. As you can see, we've already had to move the junk, like we had to move the junk out, put all the stuff against the wall, and then move the junk back up in front of it for now, because it doesn't have permanent homes yet. But we got the embroidery machine right here in the middle, and then we've got the pink calyx over here and the pink calyx back there. And so all the embroidery accessories, like stabilizer, interfacing, and you know, that kind of stuff, hoops and things, they're going to go in those boxes that go in there. And then as we find homes for all this stuff, it will be moved out. So even though it looks almost as messy as it did before, we have gotten a lot of headway done. This, like I said, I was going to move it, but I'm just going to keep it until I sell it. This is all knit fabric, knit and fleece and minky, and a little bit of swim fabric, and yeah, mostly some other little miscellaneous, but it's almost all knits. And so I'll probably just go on the Knits D-Stash Facebook and just try to get rid of it for really cheap. So, and then once the fabrics go, then the toys are going to go, and those are all Fisher Price toys too. All of those, people and accessories and all that stuff, Fisher Price, Little People stuff, that's all going to be sold on eBay. That's all going to be sold on eBay. So, yeah. That's bag making supply. No, that's cams, snaps, socket studs, sets. And then there's some other, there's some more notions down there. I got to take those out and sort them. Anyway, that will probably move, but it's mostly already sorted the way it's supposed to be. So, day one, we got a lot done. It doesn't look a whole lot better yet, but, you know, we're getting there. That is my next, I'm going to tackle that probably tomorrow. So, it's starting to clear out a little bit. All right, stay tuned tomorrow for day 2.